Хто з цих великих країн, всіх ядерних держав, хто з цих країн постраждав? Всі? Ні, одна, Україна. Хто віддав ядерну зброю? Всі? Ні, одна. Хто? Україна. Хто сьогодні воює? Україна. І тому виходить у нас так. І в розмові з Дональдом Трампом я йому сказав, у нас виходить так. Який же вихід? Або у України буде ядерна зброя, і тоді це для нас захист. Або ми повинні мати якийсь альянс. Окрім НАТО, на сьогодні ми не знаємо дієві альянси. Країни НАТО сьогодні не в війні. Країни НАТО не воюють. Країни НАТО люди всі живі, слава Богу. І тому ми і обираємо. Ми і обираємо НАТО. Не ядерну зброю. Ми обираємо НАТО. І я вважаю, що мене почув, в даному випадку Дональд Трамп почув, що він сказав у вас справедливі аргументи.
This is my video update on this Friday, midday, October the 18th. Let's talk about news. Let's talk about a lot of news. I was going to say some news, but let's talk about a lot of news. A lot of stuff happening yesterday. So let's jump right into it and begin with Elensky's statement in Brussels, where he basically said that either Ukraine will have nuclear weapons or Ukraine will be in NATO. Which one? Which one is it? Does Ukraine get nukes or does Ukraine get into NATO? That's pretty much what Elensky said as he was in Brussels presenting his victory plan to European officials. And what a train wreck of a presentation this was. What a freaking train wreck. We are watching Elensky unravel before our very eyes. He is coming apart, the man in the green T-shirt. So he was speaking to the press at this event in Brussels, giving a speech to the media, to the world, and Elensky said, and I quote, "Which of the big nations, the nuclear nations, suffered? Everyone? Question mark. No, just Ukraine." He was referring to the 1994 Budapest memorandum. And then he said, speaking to Donald Trump, I told him, what is the way out for us? Either Ukraine will have nuclear weapons and they will serve as protection, or we need to be in some kind of an alliance. We don't know any effective alliances except NATO. And then Elensky said that Trump agreed with him, calling his arguments fair. So he references the Budapest memorandum of 1994, which involved the US, UK, and Russia extending security assurances to not only Ukraine, but also to Belarus and Kazakhstan as well, for in exchange for their agreement to either destroy nuclear weapons or transfer those nuclear weapons to the Russian Federation, which was agreed by everybody in the world, including the United States, including Bill Clinton, who was president at the time. He got this one right. Bill Clinton got this one right, even though now he says that he got it wrong, but back then he got it right. But everyone in the world, the United States being the unipolar power in 1994, they all agreed that Russia was going to be the successor state to the Soviet Union. And as the successor state to the Soviet Union, that meant that Russia would have to take on all of the bad stuff of the Soviet Union, including all of the debts and all of that stuff. But Russia would also be responsible for all of the nuclear weapons that the Soviet Union possessed. That included nuclear weapons which were in Ukraine, nuclear weapons which were in Kazakhstan, in Belarus. They would all be taken care of by Russia. And it makes sense. It made sense. If you're the United States, if you're Bill Clinton, if you're the UK, and you have this situation where the Soviet Union is no more, and you have nuclear weapons, nuclear technology in the Soviet republics, Kazakhstan, say Belarus, Ukraine. What's the better option? To have 4 nuclear countries, or to say, you know what, let's get everything under the control of Russia, which is the successor state to the Soviet Union. That's what we've agreed upon. That's what we've all agreed. And let's get just one country to manage the nukes. Well, of course, one. One is better than having 4. And 4, at the time, 4 unstable countries with nuclear weapons. That's a nightmare. So they got this one right. Clinton got it right in 1994. And these countries were given security guarantees, not only by Russia. They were given security guarantees by the UK and the US that they would not meddle in these countries. That's pretty much what the security guarantee said. In exchange for agreeing to transfer or destroy your nuclear weapons, all of these countries, these former Soviet republics, they would get security guarantees, right? And the security guarantees said that the U.S., the U.K., Russia, they would not interfere in these countries. Well, in 2014, the U.S. and the U.K., they interfered in Ukraine. They actually interfered in Ukraine in 2003, but let's not go there. In 2014, they interfered and they meddled in Ukraine, and they overthrew the democratically elected government of Yanukovych. So the whole Budapest memorandum was not derailed by Russia. It was actually derailed by the United States, by the European Union, by the United Kingdom. They derailed the Budapest memorandum. But either way, the Budapest memorandum and what Elensky is saying with Ukraine having to give up its nukes is ridiculous in 1994, because Ukraine never had nuclear weapons. Those nuclear weapons were the nuclear weapons of the Soviet Union. Ukraine never had nukes. So they never had nukes to give up, because the nuclear weapons were the USSR's, and Russia took on the responsibility, the burden, some might say the burden of dealing with these nukes, and everything else that the Soviet Union had as well, which was also the debts and all of these things. Russia had to take on all of these issues when the Soviet Union dissolved. Anyway, that is what Elensky is referring to in his speech when he talks about the big nations, the nuclear nations that suffered. No, it was just Ukraine that suffered because Ukraine had to give up its nukes. Nonsense coming from the clown comedian. Anyway, enough of that. I've actually explained the whole Budapest memorandum thing in a video I did about a year and a half ago. But I'll explain it again. I explained it again in this video. Anyway, he then throws Donald Trump under the bus, man. This guy, man, Elensky. Oh my God, Elensky. He claims that when he met with Donald Trump, he told Trump that either Ukraine gets nukes or it enters NATO. That's basically what he's saying. That is what he is saying in this speech. That's what he said in this speech. he sits down with Trump. He's telling the world, I sat down with Trump and I told Trump, the former president of the United States, and the man who's running for president of the United States and most likely could possibly become the next president of the United States. I sat down with him and I told him, Trump, either we get into NATO or we're going to get nukes. Which one? And then he says that Trump told him he agrees. He actually said that Trump told him that's fair. Man, he completely throws Trump under the bus here. And then right after Elensky makes these statements, Bild, the German publication Bild, they revealed that a Ukrainian official involved in weapons procurement told them a few months ago that Kiev was willing to go nuclear. So Bild publishes this article right after Elensky makes these statements at this event in Brussels. And this is what Bild said. We have the material, we have the knowledge. If the order is given, we will only need a few weeks to have the first bomb, the unnamed official said, according to the German tabloid, adding that the West should think less about Russia's red lines and more about ours. And Bild was sitting on this information for a few months. They had this information from a Ukrainian official involved in weapons procurement. They interviewed this guy a few months ago. They have this information for a couple of months. Bild, the German tabloid Bild, they interview this Ukraine official, and this Ukraine official says that when I get the okay, when we get the okay from Elensky or from whoever, who are they getting the okay from, by the way? When we get the okay, then we have a bomb in 2 weeks. And Bild has this information for a couple of months, and they say nothing. They say nothing. According to Elensky, Trump has known for a good month now that Ukraine is looking to get nukes. This is what Elensky is claiming. That's why I'm saying he's throwing Trump under the bus here. Man, Trump never should have met with Elensky. I told you, Trump, you should have not met with Zelensky. I told you the guy is going to throw you under the bus, and sure enough, that is exactly what he is doing in this statement. In my opinion, that's what he's doing. But yeah. So then, right after Zelensky says all this stuff, Bild is talking about how they have this information. They've had this information for a couple of months that once Ukraine experts get the okay, they can create a bomb in 2 weeks. In 2 freaking weeks. Think less about Russia's red lines and more about ours. That is what Bild is quoting here from this Ukrainian officials. Is that a threat or what? Don't think about Russia's red lines. Think about our red lines, because in 2 weeks we're going to have a nuclear weapon. And it's all nonsense. This whole narrative, in my opinion, is ridiculous. You think Russia doesn't know what's going on in Ukraine with regards to nuclear weapons? Of course, Russia knows. Russia knows exactly. This is my hunch. This would be my opinion: is that Russia knows exactly what's going on with Ukraine and nuclear weapons. That would be my guess. And what, Ukraine's gonna build one nuclear weapon? What, they're gonna build one bomb? And they're gonna use that bomb to what? Launch it into Russia? Really? Really? Is that the plan? Is that the threat? And Russia's just gonna what? Sit back? They're just gonna sit back and say, okay, you have a bomb, we surrender. You have a nuclear weapon now, we surrender. Is that the threat that's being thrown out there? Or is this part of Elensky's secret annexes that he was talking about the other day when he presented his victory plan to the Ukraine parliament? I have a lot of questions. Are are neocons involved in all of this nuclear stuff? Are they helping Ukraine out with all of this nuclear stuff? I don't know. I think that's a legit question now that Elensky has thrown all this information out there. So Bild, in my opinion, Bild was told to publish this article. This is just my opinion. Bild was activated to publish this article. You have this information. Allegedly, you have this information. You have this interview that Ukraine can build a bomb in 2 weeks. Right after Elensky gives this speech, Bild publishes this article. They're balloon testing something, man. I'm telling you. They're throwing this narrative out there because they want to see a reaction. Maybe they're bluffing, and someone needs to call their bluff. I don't know. But this is no coincidence that right after Elensky reveals all this information about nukes and discussing nukes with Trump, threatening Trump, discussing nukes with Trump, blackmailing Trump, I don't know, whatever, however you want to call it. But right after all of this is revealed, Bild comes out with this article. Maybe they were thinking that the U.S. and the EU was going to say, yeah, that's a great idea, Elensky. You're in NATO. We're going to let you into NATO. or yeah, create a nuclear weapon, no problem. That'll get Russia to capitulate. I don't know what they were thinking, but they were probably thinking that the EU would say, okay, you can get into NATO. all right. You're in NATO, Article 5. I mean, think about what Elensky is saying here. Think about what Bild is saying here. They're basically saying that there are two options now for Ukraine, for the world. There are two options. Either Ukraine gets into NATO and gets Article 5 protection, which means war with Russia, which means nuclear war with Russia, the collective West going to war with Russia, which would mean nuclear war, or Ukraine, if they don't get that, then Ukraine is going to build a bomb in 2 weeks, which I imagine they're going to threaten Russia with, which would mean that Russia's going to have to take action, which could also escalate to some sort of a nuclear exchange. Are these the two options that Elensky is presenting to the world? Are these the two options that Bild is presenting to the world? Is this what they're balloon testing? Man, these guys. This was a big time mess up from Elensky. He's unraveling, man. This was a big time mess up. Who knows? Maybe Bild was told to release this article, knowing that Elensky was going to make this statement, so that the West can dispose of Elensky. Maybe that's what's going on. They can drop him because everyone's going to see that this guy is losing it. He's losing it. And maybe this is the excuse that they need to drop Elensky. I don't know. Maybe they're setting Elensky up because the fact that he actually said all of this in public at a press conference, the world was shocked. They were horrified. Orban said when he saw the victory plan that he was shocked. He was horrified at the victory plan. That's what Orban said in a statement the other day. Or actually, I think he posted it on Facebook. His official account said, enough. We're heading towards a nuclear war. Elensky is talking about nuclear war with his victory plan. We need to start talking about a ceasefire and peace. Anyway, everyone was shocked. Everyone was horrified. Everyone with half a brain was shocked and horrified. But we got the walk back from Elensky. He didn't get the... Whoever's behind all of this, everything that went down yesterday, including Bild publishing their article, whoever was behind all of this, orchestrating all of this, they did not get the reaction that they wanted. Russia was stoic, man. Rutte actually said that Ukraine may not even be the next country into NATO. He actually said that maybe one or two other countries will be in NATO ahead of Ukraine. That was Rute's reaction to all of this. So we got the walk back from Elensky. He walked it back right away. All of his statements, he walked it all back. The Bild article, he walked it all freaking back. All of it. Asked about Ukraine's potential aspirations to go nuclear, Elensky flatly denied them. Quote, sometimes we create ourselves problems. Now you begin to do it. So we never spoke about that. We are preparing to create a nuclear weapon or something like this, Elensky stated. That's why I said I don't have an alternative except NATO. That was my signal. But we don't do nuclear weapons. Please don't move these messages, he added. So he walked the whole thing back because, in my opinion, he didn't get the reaction that he thought he was going to get. Or maybe Elensky realized, crap, the people that, my script writers that told me to say all of this stuff, they screwed me. They threw me under the bus. Now everyone thinks I'm crazy. They're going to drop me. Maybe Elensky realized this. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But what a crazy moment in Brussels, huh? So the other, the other secret annex that was in Elensky's victory plan, he said it was a comprehensive non-nuclear strategic deterrence package. He talked about it in his victory plan when he was speaking to the Ukraine parliament, but he didn't really get into any details. He said this is another secret annex. So we know that the one secret annex, we're pretty confident that the one secret annex in Elensky's victory plan was nukes for Ukraine, nukes or NATO. That was the one secret annex. I think that's pretty clear now. Either we get into NATO or we're gonna get nukes. The other secret annex is, according to what Elensky said in Brussels, that the collective West place missiles in Ukraine, a lot of missiles in Ukraine, and they threaten Russia with these missiles. Either Russia capitulates or we're going to launch a whole ton of missiles into Russian territory. Quote, we propose placing on Ukrainian soil a deterrence package that would either force Russia to participate in real peace negotiations or allow for the destruction of their military targets, Elensky told lawmakers in Brussels. It's the peace through threats approach. It's about an appropriate missile package, Elensky explained, adding that Kiev has provided details of the plan to all partners who can make this happen. That's a quote, who can make this happen, including the US, France, Germany, Britain, and Italy. So the one annex, nukes or NATO. The other annex is the UK, the US, Italy, and France. They place a ton of missiles in Ukraine, and they basically tell Russia, either you come to the negotiating table and negotiate on our terms, on my piss formula, or we're what? We're going to launch all these missiles into Russia. We're going to hit military targets in Russia with all of these US, UK, French, and Italian missiles, right? Crazy. Crazy. Loco en la cabeza, Elensky. No one's going to go for this. The US is not going to go for this. The UK is not going to go. Well, maybe the UK might go for this. Keir Starmer actually will go for this. He's that dumb. But Italy's not going to go for this. I even think Macron's going to say, me? I didn't agree to French missiles attacking Russia. I think Macron is going to flip-flop on this one. Even though he's talked about hitting Russian territory with Scout missiles, I bet you Macron flip-flops on this one. Maloney's definitely going to say no way. I mean, that's war between Russia and Italy. Yeah, I don't think Italians want that. So, that was the other secret annex. And then Elensky talked about creating a no-fly zone in Ukraine and stuff like that during his speech in Brussels. I'm starting to think that the script writers told Elensky to say all this stuff and to put all this stuff in the secret annex. The neocon script writers, they told him, yeah, let's create a secret annex where you talk about nukes and NATO, and let's create another secret annex where you talk about U.S., U.K., Italian, French missiles in Ukraine and launching them into Russia unless Russia capitulates. Put that in there as well as a secret annex, and then go to Brussels, Zelensky. Go to Brussels and say all this stuff in a big speech and trust us. Trust us. Everyone will support you. and no one's supporting him. This is not good for Elensky, man. This is not good. Not good at all. I think he's being thrown under the bus here. All of the statements that Elensky's made, that he made yesterday, and all of these secret annexes that we're now understanding what they're about, not so secret anymore, basically, Elensky's made the case for Russia's special military operation. What was Russia's special military operation about? What's this whole thing about? At least from Russia's point of view. This is from Russia's point of view. What is all of this about? We can't have Ukraine into NATO because Ukraine and NATO means that the collective West is going to place long-range missiles in Ukraine, which can hit Russia, which are very close to Moscow, very close to our military facilities in Russia. So we can't have that, and we can't have Ukraine and NATO, because they're talking about nuclear weapons all the time. Remember in 2022 at the Munich Security Conference, where Ursula was there, Annalena was there, Pirate Schultz was there, Kamala Harris was there. Elensky was basically running around Munich talking about Ukraine getting nukes. The same stuff he said yesterday, he was pretty much saying in 2022. And then 2-3 weeks later, we got to the SMO. For Russia, they listened to Elensky in Munich. And this is what did it for Russia. It wasn't that Elensky was running around Munich talking about nukes. It was that he was running around Munich in 2022 talking about nukes. And the vice president of the United States didn't have the common sense, the good judgment to go to the media and say, as the United States of America, Ukraine will never, ever, 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 never, ever, ever, never, ever, ever get nuclear weapons. That's what Kamala Harris should have said in Munich when Elensky was running around talking about Ukraine and nuclear weapons. And when Russia didn't see any of that coming from the vice president of the United States, that's when Russia said, okay, yeah, this is getting too dangerous. We need to do something. So he's basically, Elensky is making the case for Russia's special military operation with everything that he has revealed yesterday. Anyway, what else? What else happened at this event in Brussels? Macron, he said that he's against EU countries giving Ukraine more than $20 billion as part of the whole $50 billion loan to Ukraine that the EU keeps on talking about and keeps on rethinking and restructuring. And Ursula said, we'll give $35 billion if the US and Canada give $15 billion and all of this stuff. Well, Macron is saying, nah, we shouldn't give more than $20 billion. And if the EU gives $20 billion, well, the US is not going to give $30 billion, are they? The US and Canada? Hell no. No way. So Macron is basically shooting down the whole $50 billion loan package to Ukraine. That happened yesterday. That's why I'm saying Macron, he's going to flip-flop. Macron is going to throw Elensky under the freaking bus. You better believe it. Yeah, Elensky number 5. It smelled really good. Macron really liked the smell of Elensky number 5, but yeah, he didn't like it that much. Georgia dodged a bullet, huh? The European Union, from what I understand, they announced that Georgia's accession to the EU is going to be put on pause because they're accusing Georgia, the Georgian government, of moving away from European values. Oh, those European values. Those EU values. Does anyone have the book of European values? If you have a copy of the book, even as a PDF, just please place the link down below in the comments section. Whoever has a copy of the European Values Handbook or brochure or whatever, so we know what are these values: regime change, coup d'état, inflation. What else? What else? What else? I don't know. Oh man. So Georgia dodged a bullet. If I was Georgian, if I was living in Georgia, and this news came in that our EU accession has been put on hold, man, I would be partying like it's 1999. Georgia, you guys dodged a big time bullet. Congratulations, Georgia. Congratulations. Your EU accession has been put on hold. You're going to survive. Your economy's going to thrive. Your country's going to survive. Your culture's going to survive. Your history, your language, it's all going to survive. Your religion, it's going to survive now. Congratulations. Congratulations, Georgia. A day of celebration in Georgia. They should throw a party in Tbilisi with this announcement. So going back to Trump, he was on the Patrick Bet-David podcast the other day, and they talked a bit about geopolitics. And Trump, he actually said that Elensky, this is a quote, he said he, in reference to Elensky, should not have allowed this war to start. The war Ukraine has lost. Interesting comment from Trump. I think Trump needs to talk about what Elensky told him when they met. I think it's absolutely critical now for Trump to say, what did Elensky tell you? Did he threaten you with NATO or nukes? I want to hear what Trump has to say about this. But anyway, he said this to Patrick Bet-David, and then he said that Elensky is one of the greatest salesmen I've ever seen. Every time he comes in, we give him $100 billion. I don't know about the greatest salesman. He's definitely the richest actor in history. That's for sure. He smokes Tom Cruise. You think Tom Cruise gets paid a lot per movie? Elensky smokes Tom Cruise when it comes to highest paid actors. And then he was asked about Iran. Patrick Bet-David, in his question, was asking Trump about regime change in Iran. We need to regime change Iran. That was basically what he was saying. Because anyone that knows history and knows geopolitics, they know that all of the regime changes, they work out oh so well. Those regime changes, they work out really well. No, regime changes are a disaster. But that was his question to Trump, and Trump gave a surprising response. He said that he's against regime change in Iran. That's what he said. He's against regime change, and I think he gave the right answer. I really think he gave a good answer here. He said, we can't get totally involved in Iran with a regime change because we can't even run ourselves. Who are we to overthrow governments when we're a mess at home? That was Trump's answer. A surprising answer. I think a lot of people would think this is a surprising answer from Trump. But it's also an indication when I listened to Trump's response, to me it was an indication that maybe, just maybe, I'm not saying I'm going to get some pushback on this, I know, but maybe if Trump wins, just maybe, there could be an off-ramp to a war with Iran. Maybe. 5% chance. But a statement like this gives me a little bit of hope. A little bit. And the other big news from yesterday, huge news, was that Israel officially announced that they have killed Sinwar, who was their number one target in Gaza, and they have eliminated Sinwar. He was the leader of Hamas in Gaza, and they even released a drone video of his death, which you can find on Twitter, on Telegram. It's all over the place. Israel actually released this video of Sinwar's final moments. It's about a 50-second video of the drone finding Sinwar. He was in bad shape. It looks like he lost his arm, and from what I understand, I believe he was suffering from a gunshot to I think to like the shoulder or the abdomen or something like that. Anyway, he was in bad shape, but he threw a stick at this drone, and then that was it. You can see the video. You can see the video on Twitter or Telegram. But the fact that the IDF released this video, I think this was a bad idea. I don't understand why they released this video. They could have released a photo, maybe one or two photos, but releasing the video, I don't think that was a good idea from the IDF, at least not for Israel, because it's a lot of people are going to look at the video and they're gonna see a defiant Sinwar fighting to the very last moment because he threw the stick and at the drone and stuff like that. So I don't think this was a good idea for Israel to release this 50-second video. That's just my opinion. They would have been better off if they just came out with a statement saying that they're 100% sure that they've eliminated Sinwar, and you could have released a photo, and they should have left it there. Anyway, that was huge news. Of course, this doesn't mean that the fact that they've eliminated enemy number one for Israel, they've eliminated enemy number one. This doesn't mean that the conflict in Gaza is going to wind down. I actually think Netanyahu came out with a statement and said that the war is not going to end with this news. So the EU commissioner, the outgoing EU commissioner, said that Elon Musk is the promoter of evil. That's a direct quote. He is the promoter of evil in an interview with Politico. Outgoing EU commissioner for values and transparency. The EU commissioner for values and transparency. This is going to be a long video. Said that Musk is the promoter of evil. Vera Jourova. Jourova has never met Musk in person. She argued that even without this personal meeting, I would say that out of all the bosses I met, he is the only one who is not able to recognize good and evil. Jourova said she was really scared by digital platforms in bad hands. Yeah. That means that she's really scared and really upset that the EU isn't controlling social media, right? And that the truth can actually see the light of day because Musk owns Twitter. That's what they're upset about. That there's a platform that they don't 100% control. And for them, this is bad news. This is evil. The fact that the EU doesn't control the media narrative is evil. Never met Musk. She never met Musk, but he's the promoter of evil. Never met him, but he's the promoter of evil. Zuckerberg, Zuck's a good guy. Musk, he's evil. Anyway, Musk, he hit back at Jourova, posting on X, if she wants to know what evil looks like, she just needs a mirror. Yeah. That's right. The EU, nothing evil about the EU. Nothing evil about the European Union. Musk, evil. EU, good. Good. Very good, EU. EU, the force for good. Musk, force for evil. According to the outgoing Values and Transparency Commissioner. What a ridiculous job. People are getting paid for this. These are actual jobs. The Transparency and Values Commissioner. The Values Commissioner. Is there any chance that the Values Commissioner can can send us the European Values Handbook, the PDF, so we could all get a look at what exactly these EU values are. Nonsense, man. Oh, boy. The other big news came from the New York Post. They got a lip reader to make out what Obama and Biden were saying saying to each other at the funeral of Ethel Kennedy. And this is what the lip reader made out. Biden told Obama, quote, "She's not as strong as me." Obama told Biden, "That's true. We have time." And then Biden said, "Yeah, we'll get it in time." This is according to the New York Post's lip reader. Now, the lip reader, the person that came out with these quotes, is Jeremy Freeman, a London-based forensic lip reader who was born deaf and for 16 years has served as a University College London certified expert witness for litigants, the police, and journalists. So this guy knows how to read lips. he's an expert. 16 years. 16 years, this guy. And that's what he came up with as he was reading the lips of Obama and Biden. And what does this tell me? This tells me that Obama is the man. I said this from the very beginning, from the whole coup d'etat of Biden. I said it's Obama. Biden's behind Kamala. Biden's behind the removal of Biden. Obama got Biden elected in 2020. He was the guy that pushed for Biden. He's the guy that pushed for Kamala. He's probably the guy that told Biden, "I'm going to push for you." This is my hunch. I imagine that in 2020, Obama said, "All right, I'm going to push for you, Joe, but Kamala has to be your VP." And that's what this conversation. That's what this tells me, that Obama is the guy running the show. He's the guy running the show. And Biden does not like Harris. That's crystal clear. So what does Biden do? He goes to Obama, to his boss, Obama, and he said, she's not as strong as me. I told you, she's not as strong as me as a candidate. And Obama said, yeah, Joe, whatever. That's true, but we got some time. And then Biden said, yeah, okay. We'll get it in time. We'll make it happen. We'll get Kamala elected. Damn it. That's what Biden's saying. Damn it. He doesn't want to see Kamala elected. He doesn't want to see her elected. Biden doesn't want to see her. Jill doesn't. Hunter doesn't. They don't want to see Kamala elected. They're bitter. They're bitter that they got removed. So that was an interesting news story. And let's do a clown world, and we'll wrap up this video. And this comes from Wikipedia. From Wikipedia. Still can't get over Wikipedia depicting this war as Ukraine all on its own against Russia, Belarus, and now North Korea. And absolutely nobody is helping them on their side. And look at the belligerence in this column from Wikipedia, this post from Wikipedia, which has two columns. On the one side, it's Russia, along with Donetsk and Lugansk, supported by Belarus, and now North Korea. And you better believe it that soon Wikipedia is going to add Iran, and then they're going to add China, and then they're going to add India. But it says North Korea, in parentheses, alleged by Ukraine. And then on the other side, on the other column, it just has Ukraine. That's it. It just has Ukraine. The other 52 countries in the collective West, or whatever, however many countries there are, the other 50 countries or so, they're not helping Ukraine. Nope, it's Ukraine all on its own against Russia, Lugansk, Donetsk, Iran, North Korea, soon to be Iran, soon to be China, soon to be India. That's going to be the Wikipedia update in a couple of weeks. And then Ukraine all on its own. Anyway, all right, that's the video, everybody. TheDuran.locals.com. We are on Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Telegram, Rockfin, and Twitter X. Go to the Duran shop. Use the code October20, I believe is the code, and you get 20% off all merchandise. The link is in the description box down below. Take care.